Everyone in this arena has a money stake in one of our famous couples as we play the game of celebrity gossip, Tattletales. And here's the star of Tattletales, Bert Convy.
Hello, everybody. Thank you. Thank you for tuning us in, and thank you, everyone. What a terrific group we have today. Gee whiz, I've never seen 450 greedier people in my life. The reason I say that, of course, if you must be aware, if you've been watching Tattletales, our entire audience wins money. And how they do that, we have 3 super celebrity couples who win them the money, and this is the bunch that's going to do it today. Winning money for the blue section today, producer Mr. Harvey Miller and his gal, Diana Ewing. When I say producer, I mean producer, and I've said it before, but Harvey produced my favorite show, I think, of all time, The Odd Couple, and I think it's one of the great shows ever. And you wrote it as well.
I did a lot of things, and one of our best actors that ever did the show was Richard Dawson.
Is that a fact?
That's right. Yes, sir.
Now you've tipped off who's going to win money for the banana section today. But let's not forget your lovely gal, Diana. How are you, darling?
I'm just fine,
Are
thank you.
Okay, well, it's nice to have you with us, too. We
Thank
don't
you.
want to slight you.
Yeah, don't slight me.
Not
please.
at all.
Don't give it all to Harvey.
No, we won't do that.
Right.
Now, speaking of bananas, winning money today for the yellow section, one of the greatest guests ever to appear on The Odd Couple, Mr. Richard Dawson and his beautiful gal, Jody Donovan.
These people are, I don't want a crass name like banana section at all.
Oh.
The sunshine section.
The sunshine. Now, isn't that funny? We've been here a year and a half or more, and no one has ever thought to call the yellow
don't they
section.
look just like
The
a ray of
sunshine
sunshine?
section. Yes. I would
There's a
say that,
cloud or
but
two there, I can see.
you'd be surprised how quickly they can turn on you if things don't go their way, however.
You know, every cloud has a silver lining, and
That's
vice
true.
versa.
Jody, how are you?
Just swell.
Just
Thanks
swell. You ready to go, huh?
Yes.
I know you are. Winning money today for the red section. An old friend of mine and a dynamite actor. You will see him in Killer Elite with Jimmy Caan, and he was in San Francisco making it. We were there at the same time, and he doesn't realize that. A long introduction for a terrific actor and his friend and actress to Mr. Bo Hopkins and Sandra Luck. Did anything I just say make sense at all? I hope it did. How are you, Bo?
Fine.
Yeah? Everything is healed and everything?
Yes,
Yeah.
almost.
Okay, we were having a long discussion before the show, which we won't go into. Sandra, how are you doing?
I'm fine.
All right, if you're all ready, gang, here comes the first question. It's worth $150. It is for the ladies. Ladies, here's a terrible choice for you. Like all the rest of them have been easy. Which would you rather have as a husband? A man who is always charming, kind, and appreciative, but you know is chronically unfaithful? Or a man who is always sour, complaining, and unappreciative, but you know is totally faithful? Ugh, what a choice. Here's a terrible choice. Boy, it is. Which would you rather have as a husband? A man who is always charming, kind, and appreciative, but you know is chronically unfaithful? Or a man who is always sour, complaining, and unappreciative, but you know is totally faithful? Think it over. Oh, boy, what a predicament. Off they go. Goodbye, ladies. We'll start with you, Harvey.
That was the most depressing question I've ever heard of. What a choice.
Yes.
Well, what will Diana choose?
Which one
she
would
will
she
choose
like?
A. Whichever one that was.
Which is the guy
first
who is
one.
charming and kind and appreciative, but she knows...
No, I'm sorry. She would choose the other one.
No, the other one,
Yeah.
who is sour and
Sour.
complaining and unappreciative, but faithful.
Yeah.
Really? That's
Yes.
interesting. I'd like to take a vote
I
in
think
the
she'd
audience.
be bored by the first one.
The first guy would bore her?
Bore her. Well, she'd never see him. He'd never be home. And
But when he
who
is, he'd
wants
be
somebody who's always charming, you know?
Really?
Oh, yes.
Boring, huh?
Very boring.
I understand. Okay, whatever you say. Let's bring her on and see.
Well, yeah. Well, you'll see.
Here she comes now. Diana,
Yes.
now which one would you rather have as a husband? A guy who's always charming, kind, and appreciative, but is chronically unfaithful, or a man who is always sour, complaining, unappreciative, but you know is totally faithful?
The second one.
That's it. You got it. I guess,
Just like we practiced it.
yeah. I guess faithfulness ranks pretty high then, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's well.
Obviously, she puts up with you and you're faithful, so it's all right, huh?
Sure I am.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, you tell him, Harvey.
Thank you, Diana. Richard, what will Jody say to this?
She'll say, bugga bugga. Well, now let's see. She dates me. I'm charming, kind. What was the rest
Appreciative? Charming?
of it? What else?
That's all that's on my card.
And unfaithful, huh?
Yes, but chronically unfaithful.
That's me to a T. I think she'll choose me.
She will? She'll say that, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
See, I'm honest. These two are doing a number.
Yes, I see.
We
I tell
are
you the
not.
truth.
You're going to tell it like it is, huh? All right,
I'm
let's
going out with that lady up there in the red skirt and the blue blazer later if I can get to her.
Is that right? Well, we've got a minute and a half for a commercial coming up soon. You can try and work it out.
Stay where you are.
Let's bring Jody on and see what she says. Jody, which one of these guys now would you rather have as a husband? A man who is always charming, kind, appreciative, however chronically unfaithful, or a fellow who is sour, complaining, unappreciative, but is, as you know, totally faithful? Which one will it be?
I suppose if I were forced to make such a lovely choice, I would pick the first.
That's the one. You're right.
Well, you did pick the first. What are you talking about?
Not only did you pick it, you have it right
Never
there.
lied to you, darling.
No, it's sitting
Bert
right
and I are
there.
just good friends.
Hey, Bo, what was Simon say to this?
Forgot the question.
Which guy would Bo rather? I mean, which guy would Sandra rather marry?
The one in the red at the end there.
What?
The lady.
You can't have her. Richard's already spoken
No,
for
she's
her.
in my section. I said.
Oh, I see. Oh, then that makes it all right.
Yeah.
She'd rather have a charming guy who's appreciative but chronically unfaithful, or a guy who's sour, complaining, unappreciative, but totally faithful. Which one?
I think the unfaithful.
Really? The chronically charming fellow who's... Oh, some of the red section doesn't think so. But that's what you want, the first one.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna go that way.
All right, okay. All right, let's bring her
Change my
on.
mind.
Shh, don't say anything now. Don't give it away. Sandra, here's the predicament. We want to know which you would rather have as a husband, a man who is always charming, kind, and appreciative, but chronically unfaithful, or a guy who is sour, complaining, unappreciative, but totally faithful. Which one?
It's imperative he be nice to me.
So,
The first one.
that's the one. Well, we all got that right. That's beautifully done. We split the pot three ways. We'll come back and split all the rest of the pots on Title Tales. Please come back after this message for you. See you tomorrow. Here we go. Question number 2 coming up. A three-way tie so far. This one's worth $150 as well. Ready, girls? Here it comes. A 17-year-old girl confides in you that she's terribly upset because she's so flat-chested. That's what it says. She asks you for advice. Now, would you try to reassure her that it doesn't make any difference? Or advise her to wear a padded bra? I'll say it again. A 17-year-old girl confides in you that she's terribly upset because she's so flat-chested. She asks you for advice. Now, would you try to assure her that it doesn't make any difference? Or would you advise her to wear a padded bra? How did this question get in here? I've never seen it. Off you go, ladies. Think it over. We'll be back in a moment. We'll start with you, Richard. What would Jody say to that poor girl?
I
who's
don't think
upset?
she'd go around making mountains out of molehills. It's what you are and who you are, not how much there is of you. I would say she'd just say, be as you are.
Yes, of course. Be as you are. She would
I said
advise
it
her
first.
She would tell her it doesn't make any difference.
I certainly would.
Yes, all right. Let's bring her on. Find out. Here she comes. Jody, what would you tell that 17-year-old girl who is terribly upset? Would you tell her it doesn't make any difference, or advise her to wear a padded bra? A padded bra. Not fine. A padded bra.
Since I am so, I have so much experience in this area, I would tell her that it doesn't make any difference.
That's what the man said. You're right. You're absolutely right.
You gotta have a feel for that sort of thing.
Yes, I understand.
But seriously, folks.
But moving right along. Thank you, Jody. Bo, what's Sandra going to say to this? What would she do in that case?
We were just discussing this a while ago.
Really?
Yeah, with the silicone thing that
Yes, we had on another show.
I think she would probably say it doesn't make any difference.
Doesn't tell her not to worry about it.
No pads.
Right. No padded bra.
No pads.
Okay. How about shoulder pads? Are you in favor of that? No, it's not important.
Sometimes
Let's
Playing Joan
when I'm
Crawford.
playing.
Let's bring her on. Sandra. Shh. Sandra, now what are you going to tell this poor girl? She's terribly upset. Are you going to tell her it doesn't make any difference that she's flat-chested, or are you going to advise her to use a padded bra?
I will advise her to see a plastic surgeon. No, I would advise her that it doesn't make any difference.
That's it. That's what they say. Okay? Now we come to old Harv here.
Hi, Bert.
Harvey, what's Diana going to say about all this?
Diana's going to say that it doesn't really make any difference.
Really?
Because it's not Diana's problem. No, she will definitely say it doesn't make any difference.
She will, huh? Okay. Yeah, they're awfully free with their advice when it doesn't make any difference to them, doesn't it? Let's bring on Diana. Diana, what are you going to do? This 17-year-old girl confides in you. She's upset. She's flat-chested. She's upset about it. What are you going to tell her? You're going to say, come on, it doesn't make any difference? Or are you going to say, get a padded bra?
I'll tell her it doesn't make any difference.
That's what the man said. That was easy. Split that three-way. Still have a three-way tie at halftime. Change places, fellas. We'll bring the ladies out front. We'll come back with the second half of Tattletales momentarily. See you in a moment. Places. I have three gorgeous ladies with me. The fellas, you ready to go back there? We have a tie game. Three-way tie, $100 apiece. This question is worth $150. Men, Katharine Hepburn once said that people in show business should never get married because they are too wrapped up in themselves. Do you agree with her? Good question. Katharine Hepburn once said that people in show business should never get married because they are too wrapped up in themselves. Do you agree with her? It's a good question. It's put well, too, and I don't think she meant it only selfishly. Careers are all-consuming, so don't let that, influence your answer too much. Think about it, fellas. We'll come back in a moment. I didn't want to make them all sound like terrible monsters. Sandra, what does Bo think about this? Does he believe in marriage?
I don't know. I would say, I have to answer it from my point of view. Then I think that oddly enough, I think if each person is very wrapped up in himself, it works better. And I kind of think that Bo agrees. So I would say that. What is it? He disagrees with that statement.
Do you agree with her? Then he would say no.
He would say no.
That's
He would
interesting.
say
You're
yes.
saying that if they care enough about themselves, then they are both independent and
Right.
it doesn't cause those
Absolutely.
other kind of problems.
I agree.
Okay. What did
you
I
get
just say?
that?
But you explain it to me now. Okay. In other words, he does not agree with Katharine
Absolutely.
Hepburn. All right. Let's bring Bo on and see. Bo, do you think Katharine Hepburn was right when she said that people in show business should never get married because they're too wrapped up in themselves? Do you agree with her?
No.
That's right. I turned the question all around, but you seem to understand what I meant. Thank you, Bo. Diana, what will Harvey say?
I think Harvey will say no, too, because I think that people in show business, the ones I know and are friends with, are some of the most generous people I've ever met. And I think I totally agree with Sandra that if you have your own trip together, then you are free to give to other people.
True. Rather than one, but what about, well, that's another question. All right, I was just going to pursue that. No. So you'll say that Harvey will say he does not agree with Katharine
Right.
Hepburn. Let's bring him on. Harvey.
Yes, sir.
Now, Katharine Hepburn has said people in show business should not get married too wrapped up in themselves. Do you agree with her or not?
Do I agree with her? No, I do not.
That's right. You're right not to agree with her. Boy, flipping along. Why don't you agree with her, Harvey?
I don't agree because I think that marriage in itself is all-consuming, so you have to leave time for something.
Right.
That might as well be your career.
That's right. Gee, that was beautifully said.
Thank you very much.
What did he say? Any idea? He asked me to marry him? No, that's not what he said. You gotta watch that, Gene Wood. Thank you, Harvey. Jody, what will Richard say?
I guess I'll go along with Sandra and Diana and say that Richard will disagree with Katharine Hepburn because
Really?
he'll feel the same.
Gee, I hope Catherine's not watching this. It's nothing personal, Catherine. It's just evidently you said that once. Let's bring Richard on. Richard, Katharine Hepburn did say that show people should not get married. They're too wrapped up in themselves. Do you agree with her?
Well, I don't understand that question. Get married to whom? Other show people?
It just says that people in show business should never get married because
I'm
they are...
sorry. Go and get the rest of that question, and then I'll answer it.
Oh.
I mean, do you mean they marry each other?
That's not the question. I don't know what I'm just quoting what Katharine Hepburn said. She said
Just a
once
second.
said...
Just a second. Give me Katharine Hepburn. I'll get
Katharine Hepburn evidently said that
Yeah.
people in show business should never get married because they are too wrapped up in themselves. It could be one person who is in show business should never marry anybody else, whether that
That's
person...
Jack Cassidy, isn't it? I'll say yes, she's right.
No, that's not what Jody said.
Give us a chance.
Don't be cruel, Don't be
Yeah, I
cruel.
mean,
No, he's...
when you groan, that makes a very loud noise in here. Just shake your head,
Best you
I'll
can, you know?
understand.
Sorry about that, Richard. But guess what? Diana and Harvey and Sandra and Bo got it right. They split the pot. We'll come back in a minute and decide today's game with the $300 question coming up. See you tomorrow. Bye. Here comes a $300 question coming up, and this is it. If you're ready, guys, here we go. Men, our magic genie is going to give you a present. He's going to give you either one $12,000 car or two $6,000 cars. Which one would you choose? Ooh, good. Our magic genie is going to give you a present. He's going to give you either one $12,000 car or two $6,000 cars. Which would you choose? Think it over, gang. Good question. Bye. Off they go. We'll start with you, Jody. What'll Richard choose? I know what he drives, so you ain't gonna fool me.
Volkswagen, right? No, this is difficult, but I'm going to take a chance and say that he would pick the $12,000 car, being that he always says to me, "You've got to go first class." And
Right.
I'm not the one who does. I drive a Volkswagen.
Right.
That's why he drives a Cadillac.
Right. So you're gonna say
So-
he would go for the $12,000
Yes.
car. Okay, let's bring him on and see. Here he comes now. Hello there.
I think
Richard.
Katharine Hepburn's wrong.
No, we've done that. We just can't yank him up to the present, can we? Richard, which car are you going to take? The $12,000 car or two $6,000 cars?
I have two sons. I'd take the two cars.
No, that's not what Jody said.
And I'd give one to Katharine Hepburn.
Sorry about that, Richard.
You don't-
Wrong again. Sandra, what about Bo?
It could be, one for me and one for you, but I think the $12,000 car, may as well have the best. Who wants two of the mediocre? I think he'll say the 12.
He'll take the car for 12 grand. Let's bring him on and find out. Bo, which will it be? You can have a $12,000 car or two $6,000 cars. Which one?
$12,000.
That's it. You got it. You have Got it, sir. You got it. Not the car, just the share of the pot. Which,
Wait a minute.
Which amounts to $100, okay? Diana, what about Harvey? What will he go for?
I think he'd go for the $12,000 car.
Really, huh?
Yes, I really think he would. I may be totally, absolutely wrong, but that's my first instinct.
I understand.
However, I have thought it over while they were answering the question.
Yes.
My logic tells me that being a kid from New Jersey, he might, just choose, the two $6,000 cars, and I may be totally off base, but, I'm going to say the $12,000 car, and then hope Harvey will agree with me, and that something, good will come out of this for the blue section.
Right. And if she ever comes to a comma, I'm going to jump in here. Let's bring Harvey on. What's he going for? The 12? Hello, Harv. How are you?
It's about time, Bert.
Sorry about that. Harvey, what are you going to do now? You're going to go for the $12,000 car or two $6,000 cars?
Well, I have a $12,000 car, and it could use a friend. So I'll
So-
take the $12,000.
That's the one. You got it. All right. Diane and Harvey, Sandra and Bo split the $300 pot in half. And time is up. We have a tie. The blue section, the red section tie today. We will come back shortly and let you know how much they have tied for. It's coming up in a moment. See you. Hey, we had a tie. The blue section with Diane and Harvey and Sandra and Bo. In the red section, $325 apiece. We had 1,000. Their rooting sections will divide $1,650. Not bad. Thank you, everybody. That's all we have time for. Bert Convy saying so long. See you next time on Tattletale. Goodbye.
This is Gene Wood speaking for Tattletales, a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production. This program has been edited for broadcast.